Welcome back. This is Rachel, the Talking Dog Stitcher, here on YouTube and over on Instagram, coming back with part 2 of the WIP parade. Part 1 is long. It's really, really long. If you haven't already caught it, I will pop a link to it down below. We talked through, I think, 56 of my projects, and I've still got more to show you. So we split it into 2 parts, and we'll get on with the second part. We'll try and be a little bit more concise as we go this time. And we're going to go straight into it. If you are new to the channel and you want to know a little bit about me, I did a little introduction at the beginning of part 1, so I definitely recommend that you head over there. If you're just interested in my more recent new starts that form my pile of WIPs, works in progress, then just stick around here because we are working chronologically. So we are now at the beginning of 2024. We're starting here with, this is a little travel case from Canny Little Fox. This is what it looks like on the inside and there. So this is Aunt Betty's at Blueberry Buckle Lane. It's by Pinker and Pumpkin and it's a free chart, so I'll pop a link down below to where you can get that from. And this was my travel piece for a little while. It lived in my car and just pulled it out whenever I was sat waiting for my son to finish school or anything like that. I started this the 8th of January 2024. It's being stitched on 32 count vintage cream from Zweigart, and it's 2/2 in CXC threads. And as we go, I will be putting everything back in its bag in order to maintain my sanity a little bit. Otherwise, with sort of 80 plus projects, we would end up in chaos, absolute chaos. So pop that back in there, like that. Next is a big one. It's being kept in this Stitch-a-Majig bag. I won this at Essex Needles Retreat, and it is the perfect size to fit my Q-snap with my full coverage on it. I say my full coverage, one of my full coverages. So I am stitching Animal Panorama. This is charted by Pain Free Crafts and artwork by Adrian Chesterman. Let me move that, that's my snag now bit, which is coming very useful. So this is huge. This is absolutely massive. What we have here, let me just quickly bring up my pattern keeper so I can tell you how many stitches, so on and so forth. So the whole pattern is 291,600 stitches. I have completed 8,245. That is 2.83% of the pattern. 8,000 stitches is 2.83% of the pattern. I'm stitching it in CXC thread. I'm doing 1/1, which is one strand of thread over one linen thread on 25 count easy count even weave. And I did start doing Royal Rose parking method. With the number of colours in this, I was finding it really difficult, so I've actually worked in all of my parked threads, and I'm going to start again with hopefully a more effective and a less mind-boggling version of parking, probably going on the diagonal rather than in a full row, because yeah, like I say, there was just too much going on and I was finding it difficult to come down to the next row because of the number of parked threads that were already in there. So that's where we are. We've got a koala. I've got, these are parking bobbins from my Daria makes. I stock those in the shop, and like I say, snag nabbit, magnetic cable ties. Grime Guard is from Jess Gets Stitching, and it's going to be huge. It's well over 1 metre wide, but I love it. I really enjoy working on that when I get a chance to actually sit down and concentrate. I started that the 1st of February 2024. My current estimated completion time is just, I think, within my lifetime, I think we're talking 2085. something like that. I'll double check and pop on the screen what my current estimated completion date is. I need to pick up the pace, basically, is what I'm saying, because at the moment with that start date and we're averaging like 12 stitches a day. We need to up that. So I'm gonna get that out and get stitching on that a little bit more. My next start, 4th of February 2024, is my Big Hearted Tiny Town. Let me see if I've got the pattern in here. It's that one. Big Hearted Tiny Town. Very cute. I keep all of my tiny towns in my Canny Little Fox multi-pocket. So I've got Big Hearted, I've got a gap here. This is Halloween, which is not yet started, and then that's Christmas, which I've finished and I showed in my last video in part 1. So, Big Hearted, let's get that one out. I'm stitching it all in CXC, except for a couple of the fancy threads. I'm using Seashelly and Ripe Melon, which were called for, because I liked the variegation on them. And then the rest I've swapped for CXC. It's being stitched on Fibre on a Whim Brown Sugar, 32 count. And here is where we are. So this fabric's got this, it is a brown, but with a very slight hint of pink. So I think it works perfectly. 2/2 on the 32 count. Next is a start that I had while I was with some friends in North Wales. We went to go and visit Create Nostalgia and the Nimble Thimble, and while I was there I picked up Moonlight Visitor by Blackbird Designs. It's my first Blackbird, and I kitted it up in its entirety while I was there. So I've got all of the threads, they're all Gentle Arts, and the fabric was from there as well. It's a 40 count Pernin linen, and I'm not sure what the colour is on that one, I'm afraid. Probably just cream. The initials I've changed to be my children's great-grandmother's. We lost her not too long ago, so I wanted to have something to commemorate her in the house, and I was very excited to find that the border all matched up. Not too long to actually finish that one if I sit down and actually get on with it. Sophie, my friend from Turtle Bay Textiles, was there and she brought some project bags for us, so I picked that one. So it is my North Wales stitch, my memories from there as well. We had such a lovely time. I want to do that again. Next up is a very small start. This is Fish and Ships by Long Dog Samplers. I'm stitching this in a Silks for You. It's PR150, so it's currently tied up. I had it on a floss holder, but unfortunately it broke whilst in the project bag, which is sad. There. Beautiful sort of silver grey silk, and the fabric is Mystic by Picture This Plus, a 36 count. And my teeny tiny little start. I need to get that one back out. I love this fabric. I love stitching on it. Especially with the silk, you absolutely can't go wrong with stitching with silk, can you? If only we could do everything in the beautiful things. Next up, in memory of that weekend we spent in North Wales, is Disturbed Women by Lucy Beam. I'll pop it on the screen. This was started on the 6th of April 2024. It's on 28 count coffee craft fabric. Megan doesn't name her fabric, so it doesn't have a name, but it's like this highlighter yellow with grey mottles. And we're up there. What I have done is, and I mentioned this in part 1, is I've got a lot of my charts and either if they're a paper pattern, I've charted them myself straight into as is my into Max Stitch, so I can put it on the Cross Stitch Saga, which is my favourite app to use. This one I've actually edited a little bit, so it says Evaluation Centre Ward B. I've changed that to Evaluation Centre for Disturbed Women Est 2024 because it's the first time I met a few of the friends that we spent time in North Wales together. So like our friendship was established in 2024, but it's also the year that I started my business, the online needle workshop. So this is going to be big, but it's going to be a sign for my office door. We're all a bit disturbed, aren't we? And that's in a Total by Stitches project bag. I'm stitching it in, the words are all in Tin Bucket, and then the arrows and probably something else somewhere along the way is going to be in Amethyst, both by Gentle Arts. I should say Disturbed Women is about 28% complete. Next, WIP number 63, I started on the 12th of April. I think the day that this sal started, the Lola Crow Deadly Aquarium sal. Oh my goodness, this is wrinkled. I'm sorry, like I mentioned in part 1, I have not ironed anything. Me and the iron only meet each other when we finish something. So, 12th of April 2024, I started this one. As you can see, I think I've got part 1. No, part 1 will have been the frame, so part 2. I've got that finished, but not any of the rest of it. So, love that little puffer fish. This is a bag by Little Loops, which I received at a retreat that I went to. 1/1 on this 1/2 on this 40 count linen from Coffee Craft. That might need to meet an iron a little bit sooner than planned, to be honest with you. That is as crinkled as anything. Let's see if we can find out a bit. Next, in a bag that I made myself, fabric from Hobbycraft, is Primrose Cottage Stitches. I would rather be stitching. Started this on the 5th of May 2024. It's being stitched 2/2 on 25 count even weave in white. And that's where we're at on that one. I need to just sit down and finish this one, really, don't I? As you can, no, you know what, there is an error in it, but I'm not going to point it out because it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. There's one of those in pretty much everything that I stitch. There's something that I have, should we say made a mistake, or should we say made my own? So it's all mine. Nobody else has got one like mine because I made a little change. Sometimes unintentionally, but I've made a little change. Next, for my friend Shelley's birthday, we started along Filipina, Bellatrix. I will pop a picture on the screen because I don't have the pattern to hand. She started it and she's actually finished it. I did not, as you can probably tell. I have not finished it. I'm going to quickly pop it off the sides. That's where I'm at. So she is, how finished is she? This is one of those that I have sat down and had recharted in my software so that I could stitch from my tablet, which is possibly why it's going along a little bit quicker now. It's 8.35% complete. There is obviously a lot of border and stuff. That's a needle minder there, and then I'll pop this off because I think this is fantastic. It's a needle minder, but it's a sliding tin that just sticks to the back of the, I don't know why the needle is on the back of it. We'll pop that inside so we don't lose it. But that's such a good idea. It's by Denkai Designs, which I will link in the box down below. There we go. One last quick look at Bellatrix before I pop her away. This is by, it's called Hyades Even Weave from Chromatic Alchemy, who sadly do not dye fabric anymore, so unfortunately you wouldn't be able to get any of this. Shelley and I both stitched on the same fabric, so I know exactly what mine's going to look like once I actually get it finished, because I have seen it in person, but I need to actually get on with it and finish it. Next up, in another Canny Little Fox travel case, which is like so, is Summer Pillow by my friend Lauren of Flossabilities. I am stitching this on another Chromatic Alchemy. This was from the Facebook group. It's one of those that she did because it's got some like dye spots on it. It was like a seconds sale. But it's right in the corner and I don't actually need it, so there we go. Started this on the 10th of June for a bit of a summer start. I'm stitching it 1/2. No, that's not right. I'm stitching it 1/1 because it is an 18 count Ada. And I'm using Cottage Garden Threads Raspberry. It's not very variegated one, this one. I do love stitching with the Cottage Garden threads. If you've never used one, I highly recommend it. Absolutely lovely to stitch with. I just need to sit down and stitch this because these will come together really quickly, these little pillows. I'm going to say that a lot. I have said that a lot in part 1. I'm going to keep saying it in part 2. Just need to sit down and stitch it. But I mean, that's the whole point, isn't it? We do need to just sit down and stitch. That's the hobby. Let's see if I can stop saying that. Oh dear. We've been doing a lot of filming today. Next up, project bag that I made myself with some Hobbycraft fabric is, pop a picture up because I've only got my working copy here. Summer Refreshes by Summer House Stitchworks. I'm stitching this on, I think it's the other half of that, or it's another piece of Chromatic Alchemy Seconds fabric. Here is where I'm at. I'm converting all of the colours. I was a member of Black Needle Society box. They used to come every month, and I thought, what better way to use the beautiful fabrics and threads that come than to do something like this, which doesn't really matter that the colours aren't exact. So I've got Night Stalker's Calling Shaggy and Smurfs, and then Live and Die LA by any other name. So those are my 3 colours on this lovely pale lemony yellow, and it's a 20 count Ada, I believe. I've lost the little tag that came with it. I started that on the 22nd of June 2024. Next up, in a project bag from Cross Stitch Jess, I'll have it on the screen and in the box below as well. That's her Instagram handle. Is, again, I'll pop it on the screen because I only keep my working copies inside here. Strawberry, the Berry Basket Strawberry by Hands On Design. Started this on the 2nd of June for strawberries. What was it? Strawberry Sal? Mama Loves You GB for Wimbledon. We were stitching strawberries. So this is designed to be finished into a strawberry, and it also has strawberries. So that's what I went with. It's a 32 count even weave from Coffee Craft. I'm using all of the called for colours, but using CXC. 2/2. Next up, I've got a finish. This is Pumpkin Topiary by Scissortail Designs. I have not stitched the border on this one. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I might make it a little patch to stitch onto a project bag maybe. Really cute. I picked this up when I was in North Wales at Create Nostalgia. Lovely little shop. If you get a chance to go, I really recommend it. They are absolutely lovely in there, and I'd never heard of Scissortail Designs before I went in, so it was really lovely to find something new and exciting. And I got that one finished. I finished that on the 5th of January 2025. I have another finished next up. So if you were here for part 1, you will have heard about myself and Just So Sherry having sort of a standing date. We stitch along a Christmas piece together, we split it up into chunks and then stitch it along so that we've both got a finished item at the same time. So I've already showed you my Christmas Tiny Town, which was the most recent one that we finished. I'd started it a little bit earlier, which is why it came up before this one. This one is Christmas Rules by Primrose Cottage Stitches. It should have been ironed by now with how long ago I finished it, but it hasn't. I finished this, it was due to be finished, we started at the beginning of June to be finished for the beginning of December, and I finished this on, I believe, the 30th of November. I squeaked it in. We did 6 sort of chunks to get it finished together. This is all as called for. I've used CXC thread, I've used cranberry, Classic Colourworks, is it? Cranberry for the red. I've seen Kat of Catkin and Lily. She's using a Cottage Garden Threads, Victor, for her red on her Christmas Rules, and it's beautiful. And this has been stitched on a 32 count platinum by Zweigart. Really happy with how that came out, and I believe the fat quarter that I bought, I believe I've got enough space to do another one of their rules charts on the other half. So that is hopefully the plan one at one point. But yeah, managed to just like Tiny Town, I managed to squeak in just in time to have it finished. I did not keep up along the way, but I do get it finished eventually, and just by the deadline. I do like a deadline, me. Next up is an interesting one. It's not quite cross stitch. So I went to the Big Stitch 2024. It was fantastic. I will be there in 2026 as well. If you managed to get tickets, I'm so excited to see you there. If you haven't, get in touch with Sammy, see if you can get put on the wait list in case anyone has to drop out. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience. And while I was there, I got to meet Letitia of Corrie's Little Shop. And I picked up this. This is a Goldwork and Stumpwork kit by Letitia. It's like nothing I'd ever seen before. I thought, oh my goodness, I need to try that. It comes with everything you need except for hoops. So I did have to pick up my hoops. In fact, that's what it says you need. You need 3 different size hoops, some like glue and scissors and tweezers and stuff. Things that are not consumable, things that you can use for multiple of these kinds of projects. So that is what I did. I've got, I don't think I got special Goldwork scissors. I think I haven't got to that point yet, so we'll see if that's really necessary. But I have made a small start. There's still actually a needle on there. Here is where I got to. It's the very center. Can you see it? Can you see it? Let's try that. So it's like a green organza. There are wires in there that are currently being stitched over with this thread that I've got. And then inside this is all going to be satin stitches, so you're not going to see the threads where I've I've attached the wire to the back. I don't know if you'll be able to see the wires just poking out at the back there. So the idea being that they'll lift off of the fabric by the end because they've got structure to them. So yeah, like I say, I'm just working on covering those wires at the moment with the threads per the instructions. The instruction book, I won't obviously show you the instructions because those are Letitia's hard work, but I'm sewing, oh my goodness, don't drop it, a whole book, really detailed instructions. There are written instructions, diagrams, pictures. It's amazing. So if you've ever wanted to try anything like this, Letitia's got a lovely website. I will link her down below. It's for complete novice like me. Brilliant. Limited stuff that you need to buy, and then everything inside. You've got all of these bits that you need. There's fabric that's individually wrapped, lengths of thread that are individually wrapped and labelled. It's amazing. Like I say, if you've ever wanted to try something a little bit different outside your normal comfort zone, highly recommend it. I need to get this back out and start stitching, getting some more of the stitching done. It's one of those, the one that I've picked is one of those designs that once you've kind of mastered it, you've got plenty more that you can do because it's a mandala. It's the same on all sides. Oh, well, I nearly lost a little sachet of wires there. Yes. I'll stop going on about it now, but definitely recommended. I started that on the 30th of July, so it wasn't long after Big Stitch had finished that I'd started that. Next up, Touch by Stitches project bag with a funky little skeleton zipper pull. I've only got a working copy in here, I'll pop a picture up. This is Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I'm stitching this with Sherry, Just So Sherry, Lauren of Flossabilities, and Sally of Flossy Sews and Grows. They are way ahead of me. We started this on the 1st of September for Away. What is the hashtag? I'll pop it here. As you can tell, I've not been doing very much stitching on it. I've got it all kitted up, all of the Gentle Arts threads. I even think I have the garden gate that was so difficult to get a hold of at one point. We've now got stock of that, thankfully, and I'm stitching this on 40 count grey from Weeks Dye Works. So this is actually all taken from shop stock. I stock the fabric, the threads and the chart for Away We Ride, and I've done a centre start of that house. Like I say, the other ladies are way ahead of me. I'll link them all down below so that you can go and check out their channels as well. Next up we have a finish, and it's this one. It's a little mill hill kit, Honeybee. Now, you can't tell because I have, well, absolutely smashed it, if I do say so myself. I was actually supposed to stitch it that way. It should have been landscape when I started it, because those wings are supposed to be a lot wider. I have done a bit of a mishmash redesign, I suppose, of the wings to make them fit widthwise, because I did not realise after I'd stitched and beaded almost the entire body that I had done it incorrectly. So I just fudged it, as I am one to do. I'm a bit of a fudger sometimes. Look at those big beads for his eyes. So this will eventually, I'll probably snip around the outside, pop a felt back on it and hang it maybe on one of my door handles here. But I'm pretty proud of how that came out, considering the faff. The absolute drama that I had, because at one point I was debating, like, do I try and like cut off the bottom to put it on the side so that I could stitch over it and go through, and then like this bit wasn't going to be quite wide enough to get, this is how much I had to cut off, this bit wasn't going to be quite wide enough to go that way, and I didn't want it flapping around. So yeah, we had to do a pretty substantial wing clipping of the poor bee, but I think it's turned out really well, and I don't think you can tell if I hadn't said anything. So yeah, 1 Mill Hill finish, I'm really happy with that. I started that on the 17th of September 2024. I finished that at Stitche in London, also 2024, so that would have been October 2024. Love that. Then we have in a Total Bay Stitches project bag, this is Americana Blue by October House Fibre Arts. They also have Americana Red and Americana White, which they are very, very similar designs, but they have different focal points. So this one has a house, red is a barn, white is a little chapel, all with stitching and sewing motifs going around them. So I think I might do all three eventually in a sort of, this one I'm stitching tone on tone, so I could do like a little series, a little trio of them. So this is being stitched, I've just realised I've got a finish that I haven't shown you. I might have shown you in my last WIP parade, I'm not sure. Anyway, 32 count even weave by Coffee Craft Fabrics. It's a teeny start. Here's a teeny tiny start. This is being stitched with Gentle Arts Sunflower. Really wanted to do, I think I'd been watching Cam the Stitcher, who's done some like pink on pink stitching, and I was like, I really want to do a tone on tone. So when Sally of Flossie Sews and Grows said that she was starting this for her birthday, I said, yes, I've got that chart, I will start it. What can I stitch on, what can I stitch it with? And I went on a bit of a stash dive, and I fetched it. So yeah, 1/1, the stitches are teeny tiny, but beautiful, and I'm really happy with how that's turning out. So yeah, maybe we'll do like a pink on pink and a blue on blue or something when it comes to stitching the others. But you've got to finish one first. Let's not get too carried away, Rachel. While I'm on that, because I've realised that I've got a finish that I've neglected to show you, it's here. This is my Ink Circles Round Robin. I did this with Jess, Cross Stitch Jess, Tan, CXC by Tan on Instagram, and Rosie of Rosie X Stitches. We each picked an Ink Circles design and stitched a quarter of it and passed it along. So I got to stitch on 4 different Ink Circles designs, and at the end of it I received this beautiful thing back. So the details, this is Reflections of New Orleans from Ink Circles. I have stitched it in CXC 310, which is the black ones. I asked each of the stitchers to pick a motif from their quarter, as I split it up on the diagonal. So we each did a quarter. Mine is the top one, with my little initial in there, and then we've got Tan, Jess and Rosie each did a little corner. So they each picked a motif that they wanted to highlight in the black. And then Sophie Stitchy Ferret did me a custom colour for the purple and green. So with the yellow fabric, purple and green, it's all very Mardi Gras. I also stitched on Half the Fun for Rosie, which is the one with the mandala with all of the modes of transport on it. I can't remember what Jess's is called, but Jess's project and I did not get on very well. We each picked a thread to do our quarter in, and of this skein of amethyst that I'd chosen, there was literally maybe an inch, maybe, if we're lucky, an inch of that thread left, because of the number of times that I'd had to frog my stitches and fix it. Because when it's not your project, when it's like yours and you're going to be framing it and it's going to be in your house, you just fudge it. I that's what I do. But apparently I make more errors than I realized, because I was like, I can't fudge it. And it was circular, it had symmetry. I couldn't just fudge it and make it work, so I had to rip it out. And anyway, long story short, and then Tan's was like a vertical one, so rather than a mandala style, there was a couple of motifs that we each stitched, and again we got to pick our own colours for that one as well. So yeah, that was really good fun. I really enjoyed doing that, and I'm really happy with the framing. This is from Lisa at Atelier Frames, and she is just absolutely incredible at framing needlework. So I highly recommend her if you get a chance to see her, either online or in person at a retreat. Definitely recommend. Okay, that's just been hung back on the wall where it lives, so that we don't cause it any damage. Where are we? Americana blue. Right, Moon Witch. Got a lovely project wrap from Andrea, which I bought this at Big Stitch. I think the intention is that you open it up, lie your projects on it, and then you can roll them up so that they don't get all creased and stuff. Either your finishes or your makes. I'm currently using it to hold my scroll frame. This is a freebie from the Artisy website called Moon Witch. I started this on the 8th of October 2024. It's being stitched 1/1 on 25 count, easy count, even weave, swagger. I'm doing full crosses and Royal Rose parking method. I'm really happy with how that's turning out. Shall we see what the percentage is on that one? So this is 3.32% complete. Okay, still in 2024, 13th of October 2024 I started this. This is the weekend that I was at Stitch in London. I met Yaz of Yasmin's Made with Love, who made this incredible project bag. Move my face. And inside this is the project that came in this bag. So it is an exclusive project to people that got the spooky season bag set. It is being released at Needlework Marketplace in, well, this weekend, Gothic Bat. And since this, Yaz has actually stitched her model stitch of it, and it does look fantastic, as you would expect, because look at it, look at that. So while we were at Stitch in London, Coffee Craft Fabric was there, Megan, and Marie of Stitches and Diamonds or Swan Bay Fabrics had some Roxy floss there as well. So I fully kitted it up while I was there. Project bag from Yaz, pattern from Yaz, fabric from Megan at Coffee Craft, which is a 32 count linen. And it's only a little start because I only started it there and I haven't stitched on it since. So it's just that tiny little corner. And I'm stitching it in Roxy Floss Co. Carbon. Oh, I need to get this out and stitch on it. I love, oh, this fabric is amazing. Yes, like I say, this is being released at Needlework Marketplace, so I believe Yaz is going to do the PDF on her website at some point after the show. In fact, no, I'm sorry, I'm giving you completely wrong information there. She's not doing Needlework Marketplace because of the situation with tariffs in the US at the moment. It's really hard for small businesses to know what's going on with that, and you know, we don't want people being charged ridiculous amounts at customs when it gets there, and so on and so forth, yada yada yada. She's decided to drop out of Needlework Marketplace. However, she is still releasing these designs. So you will still be able to get it. I'm not sure when. I will also be ordering some for my website of that chart because I absolutely love it. What a load of rambling. Yes. Next, another Flossabilities one. I've actually got the cover photo for this one. Halloween pillow from Flossabilities. And I'm stitching this with some more of my stuff from the Black Needle Society boxes that I was receiving. So this is Lappin Loops Curtain Call, and this is a 32 count linen, and I'm stitching it in Bestitch Me Gothic Romance, which is really variegated, black through grey through red, like a bloody red. Here is where I'm at. Look at that. When we get to this pumpkin, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch each section by itself rather than going stripy across, and then see if we don't want it too stripy because I think it'll look better stripy in individual pumpkin sections, if you know what I mean, than it will across the whole thing. Variegated thread, always fun. I love messing around with threads. If you wanted to stitch it in the called for Cottage Garden Threads Felix, I have some of that in stock. And I also have the patterns, obviously, from Lauren. Project bag that I made myself. But I'm really enjoying how that turns out. Those pillows are amazing for just stash diving. You can use whatever you've got and it'll be beautiful. Whatever goes with your decorations or whatever vibe you're feeling. I started that on the 18th of October, sorry, should have said that. Next up, 29th of October, I started There Is Room. I've only got my working copy, so I'll pop a picture on the screen. This is by Annie the Proper Stitcher. I took a lot of these charts to Stitch in London and gave them away to my lovely table mates that I got to meet while I was there. And a fair few of them actually started that, which was really lovely. It's a sentiment that I will stand for, and I, like Jess said on her WIP parade, definitely go and watch it if you can. I'll die on that hill. Everyone is welcome. There is room at the table for everyone. Pardon me. There is no need to cut someone down to make yourself stand tall. There is space for all of us in the stitching community, in the business community. There is always space. Anyway. That aside, that is my start. So it's another coffee craft fabric. I picked this up at Stitch in London. It's lovely sparkly. And I'm stitching it in Gentle Arts Blueberry. Okay. They had a number of people, I spend a lot of time going to retreats. I take the shop with me to retreats, set up a little table, and I get to chat to a load of lovely stitchers. And there's a few people that have come to me and said, oh, do you know if you've got this chart? And I say yes or no. And occasionally I'll be able to say, well, no, I don't, but they've got it on their Etsy shop or their website, or you can go and get it as a PDF here or there. Or I haven't brought any with me. I've got some at home if you wanted to order it online, but you can get it at their website. And people will say to me, should you really be doing that? Like sending people elsewhere? And I truly, truly stand by the fact that I can only grow as a business and I can only expand if needlework is still at the forefront of people's minds. If people are still stitching, that is the only way that I can continue in my business. And I can only do that if designers keep designing, if people keep buying, if there's still interesting things going on in the needlework world. If people don't buy from the designers, if people don't buy from the dyers, then they might stop. They might not be able to continue financially or emotionally, and if they stop, then I've got nothing. Like, I don't design. I don't dye. I buy things from other people and get them to stitchers. So no, and you'll never find me gatekeeping any of that kind of information, because it is so important to me that stitchers keep on stitching, and that that's my little that's my TED talk. Thank you for coming. Next up we have Cross Stitch Jess makes these lovely project bags. She gave this one to me for my birthday. Inside is a Secret Grove style by Needleart Designs. Hands up if you're surprised that I'm not keeping up with it. Yeah, no, me either. I've got all of my lovely floss drops. From Somi Sarah, who was at Stitch in London, gifted these to me, and everyone else that was there. There wasn't quite enough, so if you aren't lucky enough to be gifted floss drops, I've just got some old business cards from my old Etsy shop, which all of the information on there is incorrect now. I've got my own website, so literally just a piece of card and a hole punch is all I needed to be able to get enough for all of the colours on that. It's being stitched on a piece of, this is Pole Stitch's Stormy Skies. Look how lovely that fabric is. I'm not sure that I'm going to finish this pattern as is. I might move a couple of the animals up that have been released, because the sale is now over, and it is quite long, with a few different creatures and magical motifs down there. I don't know if I'm going to finish it, what I would do with it. What I might do is just make something cohesive-ish that I could cut out and pop in a project bag, as I don't know if I'm going to stitch all of the adorable little creatures. I might even just take each creature and do like a little mini, and you can do patches for project bags or something. But yeah, I don't know that I'm going to finish this as it was charted. It's cute though, isn't it? I think there's more tree. I think the tree goes down a little bit further, so I might see if I can do the tree and then like a creature or two in this gap and then call it good. And then I've got all of the rest of this glorious fabric to do something with. Something like this would be amazing for my, I don't know if you watched part 1, but my rainbow ride that I UFO'd. I said I was going to get Crafty Kate to do me some fabric, but something like this would be amazing as well. Food for thought. Next up is my Hair of the Dog Sal start. So my birthday is at the end of October. I am the talking dog, and I decided to celebrate my birthday as a stitch along with all of my friends. I would get everyone to start a primitive hair pattern for the talking dog. So Hair of the Dog Sal. I started Winter Essentials, and I did it on, I say did it as if I finished it, not even close. I started it on the called for fabric, which is this printed primitive hair festive, and you can see it in real life. There is a bit of the gold Krynic in there as well. I'm using all of the called for, the Gentle Arts, the Krynic, and then CXC for anything that was called for in DMC. I need to get that back out as well, really. I saw lots and lots of beautiful primitive hair stuff being stitched in my honour, which was so lovely to see, and I really appreciate every single one of you. I know the designer, Isabella, really appreciated you as well. All of the stitching that she saw. She sent me a message to say how lovely it was. So thank you all for supporting her and for all supporting me. And yeah, it was quite a humbling moment. And if you could all stitch slower so that I'm not the last one to finish my own birthday sal, that would be great. In a bag from Ness's Craft Room, which I picked up at Stitch in London. And is this the last one for 2024? It could be. Let's find out. There's probably some that I've forgotten to make note of as I've gone. So, you know, we'll find when we get to the end of the bag if I think it might have been, if it might have been a 2024 start. I can only apologise if that's the case. So, what have we got here? We have, again by Flossabilities, Silent Night. I'll pop a picture up. This is being stitched on more chromatic alchemy fabric, which sadly you are unable to get as they have stopped dyeing. Very, very crumpled. This is where I'm at. What are you doing? Rogue piece of thread. So I'm doing it mostly as in the called for. It's called for in, I think there's a week's dye works for the letters. I think the rest is all DMC. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lauren, sorry. I've decided not to use the Weeks. It's Weeks Angel Hair, which is a lovely colour. But I really wanted to use Cottage Garden threads, so I picked Lychee, which is a lovely buttery colour. Oh, I really want to stitch this as well. I got most of that done over the course of maybe 3 or 4 days. Just couldn't put it down. This colour, by the way, was called Nox, the fabric, if you do happen to find some in a D-stash or anything like that. In a project bag that came in one of my Black Needle Society boxes. Okay, this one I'll have to pop a picture on it because I've only got my working copy. This is Talk to Me Goose by Silver Creek Samplers. I started this at Essex Needle Retreat in March, and I was saying to someone, I think it might have been my husband, who actually attended. He didn't attend with me. I was there with the shop, and he came to stay with me, and he came and he started he was chatting to Kate from Sparklies and Zarina and Robert from Hawkins Hobbies, just being chatty as he is. He's a chatty guy. He can get on with absolutely anyone, which is, you know, it's really annoying because I'm not naturally like that. I can talk cross stitch until I'm blue in the face, but he can turn up at a cross stitch event that he has absolutely no idea what he's talking about when it comes to cross stitch, and he just makes friends. He's always been like that. Anyway, I was saying to my husband, I was like, you will not believe it. I'm at a retreat where I normally do no stitching. I stitch a whole word. I stitched 2. I was also saying that to Lauren, Cross Stitch Bunny, who was there as well. I was like, Lauren, I've stitched a whole word. 2. This is on Weeks Dye Works 32 count linen, as in the name is linen. It is a linen and it's called linen. Just to confuse absolutely everyone. And I'm stitching that in CXC 2/2. That is in another Cross Stitch Jess project bag. I'm just collecting them. Another Cross Stitch Jess project bag. What have we got in here? I've run out of notes, by the way. I finished my notes and apparently didn't include any of these. Okay, so pop a picture here. This is Holly Wreath by Hello from Liz Mathews and Kathy Barrick. This was a Jingle Ball purchase, and that's it. That's my start. This, I think I'm stitching it on a Swan Bay fabric. Let's see. Yeah. This is. Oh, I've got. Look at me. I've hung it on my thread keep. Oh, this is embarrassing, isn't it? Crikey. Where are these from? These are Love Poppet. Do you know what? It's Stitch in London. I won a kit from Love Poppet, and it came with floss drops and other goodies. So some Love Poppet floss drops, some classic Colourworks. I can't remember if these are called for if I did a bit of a conversion. I have a Ko-fi page, a buy me a coffee, but what I use that for is almost like a blog where I can list all of my conversions. If I've converted it, which I don't think I have, but if I have, I'll see if I can. I'll get that updated on there, because I need to get better at doing that, doing my conversions. Anyway, I was talking about fabric. So this is Swan Bay Fabrics Light Sanditon 40 count linen. I bought this at Stitch in London directly from Marie. Again, ooh, yeah, that's kind of the closest it gets to the colour. It's a stunning neutral. They also do, I believe, is it called Dark Sanditon, which is a little bit obviously darker than this one, which is also gorgeous. Then we've got, I think this is a 2024 start. I will show you. October Quakers by Hello from Liz Mathews. I'm just stitching this boo, and there's a reason that I've gone for the small one. I can tell you a story. It involves a lady called Sarah and a lady called Sherry, well, it was Sarah's fault, I think, convinced Sherry that she wanted to try 56 count fabric. So Sherry got onto it, absolutely loved it, told me I had to get on with it. I am a very, very easily enabled person. So we bought this from Megan at Coffee Craft, and it was a fat quarter, but we bought two, cut them in half and took half each. So there was a pink and a blue, and instead of having a fat quarter of pink, 56 count, cut it in half and share. Look at the size of those stitches. Wow. I mean, it's not as difficult as I was expecting it to be, but that's the reason I picked the small one, because I didn't want to be going, yeah, just do the big one, be great. And I'm stitching it using extra fine spun silk from Paintbox Threads. I got these from Sarah, Pain-Free Crafts, who was at Big Stitch. She stocks the Paintbox Threads, and it was a neutrals collection, which I thought worked really, really well for that, which is why, so that's the pattern that I picked for it. And they are super fine, and they sit really nicely on the teeny tiny counts, and 1/2, obviously, because we're not going over 1 on this. But there, we've got half, not even half of a B. I'll get it back out. It's one that I need to concentrate on. I need really good light for, and when your only stitching time is after the kids have gone to bed, it's hard to come by. So we'll get back to it eventually. I will link Sarah and her website, Pain-Free Crafts, below if you want to try and get some threads. I think she sells them on the website, but she's mostly does, well, Pain-Free Crafts did my big full coverage. They chart full coverage patterns, and they're absolutely incredible charting, so highly recommend that. This is like a selection box now. We have no idea what's coming. Okay, picture on the screen. This is Books on Magic by Counting Puddles. This I have charted into my software so that I could stitch from my tablet. Look at this fabric. It's sparkly and green. It's a Coffee Craft 36 count linen, and here is my start right in the centre. Love that, with CXC that's being stitched with. That is part of a stitch along. There's a number of people that are participating in that. One of them I know is Cross Stitch Jess, who has finished her pattern. It looks glorious, and I want to stay. I'll pop them on the screen if I can find them. Let me stand in it again. I do know what I'm talking about most of the time, I promise. Right, this is definitely a 2024 start. Bag, my favourite size from Total Bay Stitches. It's Octagonal Pinkeep from Haystack Stitching, which we got as a gift at the Big Stitch. My problem with this is that I can't fit it in any of my hoops because this is the fabric that they give you. So you can see my hoop marks where they just kind of tuck around. And I love my hoops. I love stitching in a hoop. So yeah, we do what we can. This I did start in the centre, I believe, and it's being stitched on. Got any more information? No, I think it's a silk. Feels like silk. I think it might be Gloriana Cottage Garden. I think. If I'm incorrect, it'll be on the screen. That wouldn't take any time to finish, would it? Like, just learn to stitch in hand. Sort yourself out, woman. This is why my WIP pile is so big, because I've got an excuse for everything and stuff. I haven't been working on it. What do we have in here? This is another multi-pocket from Canny Little Fox. It's a little bit empty. We've got a couple of kitted up patterns that I didn't put the charts with, so for a little while there we were playing guess the pattern based on all of the threads that I'd picked out. But one that in here that has been started is, I'll pop it on the screen because it's a digital pattern. It's another Needleart Designs chart. Another piece of Swan Bay Fabrics as well. This is 40 count linen again, Wentworth Sage. Lakeside Cabin. And we stitched this for my friend Soph's birthday start. Gorgeous. Again, that's block stitching. It's on my tablet. There's no excuse as to why I shouldn't be working on this. So, like, I've got all of the threads are in here. Every single thread that I might possibly need is in there, ready to go. Just get it together. Stitch on it. I'm really looking forward to having more stitching time once my husband is back home full time permanently. Right, this is a biggie. This is this a 2024 start? It very well could be, but let me show you. What we have here is my chatelaine. I have started the chatelaine Poison Garden Mandala, and it's on a really large piece of fabric, so give me a second while I try not to either knock anything over or drop the whole thing on the floor. There it is. Like my little arrow in the middle so we know which way's up. That's as far as I've got. Yeah, I'll make sure to pop a picture on the screen of what it's going to look like when it's finished. But it just lives exclusively on this scroll frame so that I don't have to keep loading it and unloading it. Massive, absolutely massive. I'm really enjoying that. The all of the goodies are being kept in a Ness's Craft Room bag. I've got all of the Rainbow Gallery that it calls for. I've got Gloriana Silks. Thank you to everyone who watched my Flosstube, who helped me source my last silk that I was after. It's loads of water lilies. Kitting this up was, it was an investment. Let's call it an investment. So much sparkle. If you are interested in a chatelaine kit up, I used, I think it's Everything Cross Stitch, who did the bead packs for me, but then I did everything else myself. I sourced it all myself. But Zarina from Hawkins Hobbies does chatelaine kitting up services, and also Letitia from Corey's Little Shop. And I've met both of them. They're both absolutely incredible at what they do. So if you're on the lookout for something, get in touch with them. They will certainly do what they can to help. I obviously have ways of sourcing materials from being a shop owner that made it more cost effective for me to source them out myself. Otherwise I definitely would have used them because it was a faff. Okay, this one is definitely a 2025 start because I started this after I got back from Essex Needles retreat in March, and I then stitched on it for probably 2 full weeks, maybe even 3 full weeks, because I just could not put it down. So fabric I got from Lauren Cross Stitch Bunny at Floss Friends, and chart did I get myself or did I pick up from Zarina? I might have picked it up from Zarina of Hawkins Hobbies, and I also picked up the kit. So with, there she is, Fairy Iridescence by Bella Filipina. Very bright, very colourful, very, very lovely. And then Zarina does the embellishment packs, and what you can do is you can either get the chart, the DMC, the specialty threads and the beads, or you can get any combination of the above. So I've had from her just an embellishment pack without fabric, chart or threads, because I had everything that I needed except the beads. I prefer to stitch with CXC threads. I have full sets of CXC threads, so I don't like to have DMC included because that adds the cost when it's unnecessary for me, and she's always more than happy to just take out the DMC pack and sell it to me less the cost of the DMC. So again, if you get the chance to buy from Zarina, there we go. So embellishments and then the specialist threads came separately, and I did keep the DMC variations because I don't have, there's nothing in CXC like that, so I kept those. Anyway, I bought all of that at Essex Needles because Zarina was there. I'd met Lauren there and she asked me if I'd stitched on the fabric that she picked up, and I said no, and then I started this and I just couldn't put it down. So I'll show you where I am. The fabric, what's the fabric called, Lauren? I'll pop it on the screen. It's a printed fabric flare fabric exclusive to Stitch Bunny, so I will link it. And look how much I've done. I tell you what, this is a secret, don't tell anybody, but if you stitch exclusively on one project for a significant amount of time, you get tons and tons of progress. I don't know if anyone's ever, like, secret hack from me. So I have put one of the giant beads in on her forehead. I'm probably going to pop that out because when I have her on the squirrel frame, I don't want that to end up getting all squiffy. I have got her charted recently into Saga because of all the backstitch and the beads and all that kind of stuff. I'm 30.9% of the way through this pattern. There is a lot of skirt still to go, but look at her. Look at the fabric. It's sparkle. It's got a bit of sparkle to it. Yeah, I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled. And even having done that and gotten so much progress on just a short period of time of stitching on an evening, do I sit down and monogamously stitch on anything? Do I? Heck. I'm just not built that way. There was just something about this pattern that really did it for me and got me really motivated. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing that while it lasted. What have we got in here? Ooh, this is also a 2025 start. It's in a very crumpled bag because I've mashed it in. This is by Jess Gets Stitching, and this was started at Squarey Stitches because I got to meet Maria of Octagonal Creations, and I was a little bit, was I fangirling? Yeah, I probably was. I was fangirling a little bit because I stock her charts in my shop. I have done since almost the beginning. picked up some stuff at Needlework Marketplace last year, and I absolutely love it. And she gifted everyone that attended Sweary Stitches this chart. It's absolutely been mashed in this bag, I'm so sorry. This is a Needlework Marketplace release. She is releasing this at the weekend, so you will be able to get a hold of this. So it's no longer exclusive to us as of a couple of days' time. Or tomorrow. Tonight? I can't remember. Yeah. Love this. Love the little lighthouse. Love the little mermaid. The little seal. Brilliant. As with all of Maria's charts, there is the mythology that goes behind it, and where it's come from. Where did I get this fabric from? Did I pick it up? I think I picked it up off the D-stash table. So I don't know. It looks like it's a printed fabric, and it was only big enough for me to do 1/1 on what looks like it could be 28 count. Teeny tiny start. That's upside down, I think. Yeah. So center start so that I can make sure to squeeze it all in there, and that has been stitched with Cottage Garden Threads Dark U. So I'm doing that for pretty much all of it. I then wanted to highlight some bits, so we are going to do some Blue Heaven, and then the red bits are going to be in Gentle Arts Copper. And I think those three colours look beautiful together. So I'm really excited about that one. And like I say, it was so wonderful to meet Maria, who is as lovely in real life as she appears on her live videos and stories, and it was just so great to meet her. Sometimes they say don't meet your heroes, but that was not one of those. I got to have a look at her sketchbook. I know. See all of her little concept drawings and stuff of all of the like patterns that I have in the shop. Like I have it, and I got to see the concept art behind it, and where it starts, and her process, and it's just so fascinating to me as I'm creative in that I like to make things with my hands, but I'm not artistic in that I can't just create something out of thin air. So yeah, mind blown. Last one, very last one. This is a project bag by Sarah. Not enough WIP bags. This is my current stitch along with my lovely friend Sherry. So I've mentioned a couple of times we pick a Christmas stitch, split it into sections, and then stitch it together so that we have a finish at the same time. We're stitching the Cross-Eyed Cricket Christmas. And here is where I'm at. So, where should I be at the end of August? Bearing in mind we started the 1st of July for Christmas in July. So we are 2 full months from where we started. We should be at the end of the R by now, I think. So I am doing it a little bit different to Sherry. Sherry has done some separations. She's some of the letters which would fall in months like October, where she does a lot of Halloween stitching and things like that. I don't vary my stitching on time of year. Mine's more about whether or not I'm available to stitch, whether I've got stitchy time. As of the past couple of months when my husband's been away, I've not had a lot of stitchy time. So I've split it up in a way. I've got this charted in my software so that I can do it on Saga and therefore know how many stitches it is in total. I've divided that by 6 for the 6 months that we're going to be stitching together, and I'm going to do 1,500 stitches a month. That is my aim, to keep on top of it. So we've got different milestones a little bit, but the finish goal is to have this done by the end of December. If you'd like to join, that would be wonderful. We'd love to have you. There isn't a hashtag or anything like that. Just tag us. Stitch it and tag us. I am doing a bit of, I know Sherry is as well. She's looking at doing maybe some like beads and stuff like that. This is all charted in DMC, which is fine. I love that. I love it when it's affordable. I'm getting a bit creative because I can. So the gingerbread man has been stitched in Autumn Spice by Classic Colourworks, and I've decided that I'm going to pick a fancy floss for each letter so that there's a bit of fun in each one. Live a little, right? The light green for the leaves on the H is going to be avocado, and then for the R, what have I decided to do for the R? Yeah, for the R itself, the letter itself, based on what colour was charted, it's going to be in gunmetal. Weeks Dyeworks gunmetal. So that's the plan. That's where we're going with it. Bit of fun, making this my own. And that's it. That is all of my. Hang on, let's do a final count. 87 WIPs. 87. Are you intimidated by that number? I'm not, and that's all that matters. I stitch because I love to stitch. I stitch because it brings me peace, it brings me calm, it brings me joy, and sometimes what's going to bring me the most joy is gathering supplies and cutting fabric and placing that first stitch. So the number doesn't bother me. Having finishes is wonderful. I really enjoy having a little finish, but for me that's not the aim. The aim is to stitch. The aim is to have something beautiful that I love working on. So I'll probably keep going. There is probably going to be, the next time you see me, 100 WIPs in the pile. It makes me happy, and that's all that matters. So as long as your stitching makes you happy, if stitching one thing at a time till completion makes you happy, then I love that for you. If stitching on 250 different WIPs makes you happy, I love that for you too. If you like to stitch only this project on a Monday, another project on a Tuesday, and a Christmas thing on the 25th of every month, then I love that for you too. However you do your hobby, if you are enjoying it, then I love that for you. So I hope you've enjoyed looking at all of the things that I've enjoyed stitching, looking at all of the things that I've decided no longer bring me joy and have been put to the wayside for now. And I hope you come back to see me as I do, hopefully, regular updates throughout the year. That's the plan. We're going to get back on the Flosstube wagon and start doing regular updates, and there won't be 87 things to show you, hopefully, on a probably 2 weekly. Don't hold me to that, but hopefully a 2 weekly basis I will be on to give you an update on my life, my stitching, anything new with the shop. If I mention it in the videos, it's always at the end, so you're always welcome to duck out early if you don't fancy hearing anything about that. And that's all I have to say for you for the end of part 2 of this monster WIP parade. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do hit subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.